Hello, and welcome to my second progress video on Magnetops. It's been a while since I've been able to work on this game, but today I'm ready to show you stuff I've added since I've gotten back into it. Right away, we have this box that will function as the main menu, and I was just testing out these sliders and levers, which are going to adjust settings in the game, and these were made possible by the virtual reality toolkit. I'm just gonna have assets showing up here in the left part of the video. So um, as you see them here, as I'm demoing, you'll see the proper credit to all those assets. We've got a nice looking skybox here. Just trying to throw something in there so that it's not just a flat color for now. And when we pull the start game lever, it puts us in at sector 0. So here I just added in this text around this star. I wrote a script that modifies the vertex positions on each letter so that they're in a circular pattern, but it's still a little bit messed up. You can see they're rendering behind the star, and we're missing the letter S right here. So that still needs some work, but I just whipped that up pretty quickly. Here we are inside of Sector 0, and a dungeon will be generated like this, and right away you will have a character spawned in at the green section of the sector. And the goal for one of these sectors is to get to the finish, which right now is indicated by this checker pattern, and that's by no means a final texture to go with, but I'm just showing off that I've added in capability for each room within the sector to be assigned with its own texture. So you see now that I have the laser pointers implemented, thanks to VRTK. The Magnetops shoots towards where your lasers intersect with the floor. And this just feels really nice and intuitive. It's a really interesting kind of gameplay when you're using your guns not only to attack enemies once I have those in here, but also you have to use those to adjust your velocity. And as you make your way through the roguelike game, you're going to be picking up resources that let you upgrade your weapons and tune them specifically the way that you want them. So I don't think you would start the game with this much fire rate, but you'd be able to adjust your fire rate and the impulse of your shots, the mass of the bullets, the size of the bullets, and all of that. And you'll be able to tune your left and your right weapon very specifically to the way that you want them, and they don't have to be the same kind of weapon. There's also plans for a hook shot and something like a vacuum nozzle that pulls you in the direction you're aiming. What else did I have planned? Oh, a flamethrower? That would be like a rocket engine that's for short range damage, but also for continuous velocity changes. Here in these sections, you can see it's using a different dungeon generation technique. This idea I stole from Nuclear Throne, and I like to call it the miner algorithm. But what I do basically is I set a miner at each one of these doors, and I let them walk randomly within the designated space for this room. And once either one of the miner comes across a tile that's carved out by the other miner, then you know that this room is fully connected and playable, and the algorithm ends at that point. It's a pretty simple idea for carving out tiles, but it makes some pretty unique play areas. You may be wondering, how bad is it playing on the ceiling? I don't think it's really that bad. You're not actually craning your neck straight up because you can just walk backwards or back into one of these corners of the room, and then you're only looking up at like 20 or 30 degrees. It's not bad at all. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the story that I have in that I have in mind for Magnetops. This star is a little bit of foreshadowing for that. So basically, you have this solar system that you're dropped into, and some super alien civilization has come, and they've built this cube-shaped infrastructure with several layers all throughout the solar system, each layer being a sector. So you're going to have to take control of one of their builder bots, like you see here, and go through destroying other bots controlled by the aliens, and making your way through and trying to degrade this cube and ultimately break it down and move on to the next sector. And each time you do that, you're going to be liberating another planet in the solar system. And the next cube is going to be a little bit larger and have a totally different style as far as color palette and the tile generation algorithms used, and different kinds of enemies in each sector. There's also going to be all sorts of stuff for you to focus on in 3D. It's not just this 2D game taking place on the walls. So there's going to be enemies flying through the air. You'll have to knock them down with your hand controllers before they deal damage to your Magnetop. There will be all sorts of cool stuff for you to manage around the central solar system. You might be mining resources on little asteroids in orbit. You'll be able to grab them and throw them into a different orbit, or if you're devious enough, drop them directly into the star. And all of that stuff will be relevant to how you progress and how you update your weapons. So it's kind of like the game UI is built into the 3D space. At least that's what I have planned. So once I make it to that checkered area, and imagining I would have cleared out all the enemies or all the items from that area, then what would happen is all of these walls, all the light blue walls in the checker walls, they'll recede. So you'll just have a plain, flat-sided cube, and you'll be able to go all over it and do a really epic kind of boss battle. And I have different boss designs in mind for each of the sectors, really drawing inspiration from a lot of other kind of roguelikes that I've really been enjoying recently. I think that's mostly everything I have to show for you today. So thanks for checking it out. I'm really excited to get back to working on this more, and I definitely have a lot of cool stuff planned here in the near future. Oh yeah, another thing is I don't have any object pooling on the bullets, so there's no limit on the number of bullets right now, and I need to add that in. Right now they just despawn when they hit an object in the world. Okay, I'll talk to you all later.